Gentlemen, welcome back. Dallas, Keegan, how we doing tonight?
Doing well. How about you?
Going
Man,
on.
as always, we are blessed. We're happy to have you guys. We've been talking a lot about you guys as of late. We know that you guys got a lot going on currently, and we're going to get the backstory and get where you guys have been, what you've been up to, and what's in the future. But before we get into all that, I got a couple stories that came across the desk. This could be hot takes for people who, for a lot of people. These are stories I have never heard of, and some of the people that have telling them to us have said not a lot of people know anything about this. So Dallas, I want to start with you, man.
All right.
We had obviously, you guys know we've had Austin Riley on. He's coming back on. We've had correspondence and communication, and Jim pretty much, talking to him on a regular. But he wanted to know if you remember the time, Dallas, that you dug a grave for him.
Yeah, I think we were in like seventh grade one summer at our buddy's Carson's house. We usually went over there during the summer, and I guess we had gotten mad at each other, or I got mad at him, and I got a little angry. I had a little bit of anger issues back then, so I had to let it out somehow.
I hear you. Now, knowing what you know about Austin now, would you wish that you would have just like at least got a couple shots in just to say that you did it?
No. Thinking about it now, Austin's a great guy. He's a great human being. We all love him, and we've supported him throughout his entire season. And he's just a great guy. And I don't think I would want to do that to somebody so good.
I can't
Yeah,
believe he even did that. I mean, everything we've ever heard about Austin, I can't believe that somebody was digging a grave for him.
I mean, that's an ultimate mic drop baller move when you say, you know what? All right, this grave right here is for you, brother.
Yeah, that was like
Come
10
get
years
some.
ago. Yeah, it was like
Come
10
get
years ago.
some.
And I just got a little angry.
Yeah, I've seen you in the gym. You still got that anger. Don't act like that thing's gone.
But it's more directed to the weights now, not to the people.
I got you.
So, what's funny is Keegan's over there laughing, smiling, joking, but
He has
man,
another story.
yeah. I mean, Keegan, you still afraid to take the trash out, man?
Bro, I used to get so scared running in the dark, man. I'm so scared to take the trash out. Absolutely. Can't turn my back to we have some woods across the street, and I take my mom yell at me about the 15th time I finally go take the trash out, and I'd be out there, and I'm guessing my brother told you this, maybe Austin, but
No, it was mom.
it was mom. Dude, I would leave that trash can up at the road, and I'm telling you, I ain't never ran so fast in my life. I probably run 4.5 40.
That's awesome.
Gone.
Why? Did you have a bad
I think
situation?
growing up, I just watched way too many horror films, Michael Myers, stuff like that. Me and Austin used to always sit around and watch those during Halloween, and it just, I don't know, when I was little, it just got to me, I guess.
Man, I heard somebody snuck up from behind and got you one good time, and you to this day you don't know who it was.
In Oxford.
In Oxford, man,
on New Year's
I'm
Eve.
Oh,
I heard you got snuck. It might have been Dallas. He's digging graves.
it wasn't
for
me.
friends.
It was definitely Dallas. Had to be.
No,
Okay,
yeah, I
it was
don't
me.
really know what you're talking about on that.
Nah, but taking the trash out's a scary deal, man. Hey, no matter where you
Hey, I
live,
still don't like to do it, dude.
I could only imagine, man. What's funny is we talk to you guys and you kind of put levity into it, but you bring it down to a human side because we got one guy who in seventh grade is digging graves for his people he don't like, and then the other is scared to wheel the garbage can to the street. So guys, I mean,
Didn't
I
like
don't know
the
what to
dark,
think.
man.
Hey,
Didn't like it.
it's like quicksand. That's one scary mother.
Hey, don't take one of my senses away, man. I'll freak out.
Well, before we get into everything with you, Keegan, I do want to talk about one other thing because I ran into a couple of the guys at the Hernandez Square that are working at base with Billingsley, man. And I know how much, working with him and everything's transformed. I would be remiss if I didn't, plug what's going on there. Man, tell me some more about what Jacob's got going on there, because I mean, I've been seeing the videos, and I feel like base, if you are taking baseball seriously, that is the only place to go. around here?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the whole Mid-South area has never had a place kind of like that. And for him to be able to bring it was a big deal. I mean, they're just doing a lot of stuff that, you know, he did an internship down at Eric Cressy's place for 4 months. I went and trained with him for 3 of those 4 with a bunch of guys. And he's kind of brought up some of that stuff up to here and, you know, incorporated some of his own things. And it just happens to, you know, it just makes you into a better athlete. That's what it's doing. It's making you stronger where you need to be stronger on top of being able to develop as a pitcher. You're not just in there lifting weights just to get bigger, faster, stronger. You know, you're in there to help things that apply to the game, apply to your swing, apply to the force off the rubber, you know, pitching, going down the mound, stuff like that. He's got a lot of the technology. I think he's in talks. I don't know if I should say it, but he's in talks with TrackMan. That's a big deal, really big deal. He's been with Rapsodo for a while. So I think, you know, as long as there's baseball around that area, he's going to do just fine for himself, and he's gonna have a lot of kids go off and play at the higher levels.
And most importantly, Daniel, at base, they work out with their shoes on, bro. It's an important note.
hey! I still work out with my shoes off sometimes.
I know.
I'm a barefooter, bro.
We still have fun with that joke, but no.
And that's why you're scared of the dark.
Man,
Come on,
I can run faster without my shoes on. What you mean?
Man, hey, you know what? Keep that to yourself, because that's what my son says, and it's true. And this man would like to play baseball without his cleats on, and I tell him it doesn't work. So just
I don't work like that.
If he finds out pro guys are saying that, then he's really going to think it's okay. So, but no, I figured bringing up what was going on at base would be a perfect segue into your journey. You know, a lot's happened since the last time we spoke with you. And, you know, let's talk about it. Where did you start out, you know, pitching at this year after, you know, you got back into things after your recovery from your last surgery and everything?
Well, I had surgery in 2017 at Mississippi State. Went through that entire process. I ended up, you know, with the Rockies. And then I was in Fresno, California this year after spring training. Had a pretty decent season. I was feeling good. Got to the last month and a half of the season, and workload kind of increased. They moved me from the bullpen to a starter. And I guess after a COVID year, the body kind of wasn't ready for it like I thought it was. So, yeah, something just went in what I thought was my forearm originally. Came off the field after the 4th or 5th inning, told him, hey, can't go anymore. This doesn't feel good. So we still just kept thinking it was forearm stuff. Nothing ever hurt in my elbow. And we finally, you know, I got to instructional league at the end of the season. Had already taken a month off. They'd built me up a little bit for about half a month. I was doing 1 inning every 3 to 4 days, which was very tolerable. But finally, right before we left, I said, hey, let's just get a picture on this just to ease my mind. You know what I mean? Let's just see if this is just a forearm strain. Well, it ended up coming back as my UCL had become detached from the bone, from the anchor point from the previous surgery. So they go in, they do some type of collagen wrap. Don't quote me on that if I call it surgical duct tape. But they go in, they do that. The ligament was healthy. So it's only a 6 to 8 month recovery. And I'll only miss probably a month or 2 of next season. And I actually pick up a ball the week after Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that time. It's coming up soon.
So taking a step back, because, you know, obviously I talk with your dad a lot, you know, even through the injury, you know, you were talking about pitching the 1 inning. How was it you were able to be so dominant while being hurt? Because from what I understand, you were pitching still amazing.
Well, yeah. So the surgeon came back and told us after he had taken a second look at our picture that it had been torn for a month and a half, 2 months, which dated back probably to when I told them it hurt the first time. But I don't know. Like I said, it never hurt in my elbow. It was only my forearm. So it only really hurt if I got into the second, third inning, and then I'd have to really grip my teeth to throw a fastball. That's when the velocity would start going down. So they had me doing the 1 inning every 3 to 4 days. Like I said, it was tolerable. It was manageable. I would recover enough to be able to go out there. And I mean, look, you take enough ibuprofen and have enough adrenaline in baseball, you're going to be fine anyways. So, yeah, no, I didn't it never really hurt that bad until that very last inning at Instructs when I told him, hey, like we're too close to the off season. I need to get a picture. So I don't know, just it was crazy, but I was able to get through it.
What was the discussion like? You said that you went from, you know, a lighter workload to a heavier workload because you starting games. What was the conversation like, or was there a conversation between managers and you now being ready to move forward? To me, it sounds like the COVID and, you know, being prepared and ready and the extra stress would have been a conversation prior to going out there to start, or are you kind of at their disposal? You just do whatever they ask you to do.
A little bit of both. You're definitely at their disposal, but at the same time, you can speak up whenever you want to. When I got drafted, I was told I was going to be coming out of the bullpen. And in college, I started some. So I had always had talks with my agent about, hey, how do we get me into the starter role again? How do I, win that job back that I lost in college? Like, how do we go forward with this? Well, I finally was able to do that. I pitched well enough. I showed that I had a 4-pitch mix and, that I could get out there and throw for 4 or 5 innings. And they had seen me do it in college a little bit my first 2 years, but they hadn't seen it in a while. So a lot of it was probably ego. I wanted to get out there and I wanted to pitch. I wanted to do that in the big leagues. That's like my dream, is to be a starter in the big leagues. So that's where the money's made. That's that's who gets the chicks. So that's that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I mean, we had those talks kind of after the fact, just trying to pinpoint a reason as to why it happened or when it happened. But in the moment, no, like I want to throw the baseball. They want me to throw the baseball. Like I don't have any problem going out and competing. So
Do you think an injury like that for most pitchers is inevitability? Like it's going to happen? It's just a matter of not if, but when?
yeah, I do. I think your higher velocity guys, definitely. I mean, it's not natural to throw a baseball anyways. Like, biomechanically, like it's just not healthy. And then you add a 140 game season and a minor league season on top of guys that are throwing 95 plus on every fastball they throw majority of the time. It takes its toll. So yes and no. There's definitely some mechanical flaws in some people. There's definitely guys that that can throw 100 their entire career and nothing happened to them. It's just, I think a lot of it just comes down to luck, a little bit. So luck or bad luck, I guess you should say. So, but yeah, it's definitely it's inevitable with some guys.
Yeah, no doubt. And so we're going to transition to Dallas for a minute because, obviously we're going to get to a very similar situation. But before we get there, Dallas, last time we spoke with you, it was during the COVID break. I seen you in the gym, you were lifting weights, you were telling me, so I made the joke, you were telling me how pissed off you weren't playing baseball. You were coaching baseball, trying to just fill the void. But ultimately you ended up back out on that mound. So tell us where you went and how it went.
This summer, I was in Stockton, California. Keegan and I played against each other. We were in the same division. And this year was kind of up and down for me, honestly. I started off kind of weak, and then I hit a stretch where I was going really, really well, and then it kind of went bad again. So it was almost like I was riding a roller coaster the whole year. But as a baseball player, you got to learn how not to ride the roller coaster. You can't let that affect you. I mean, it was taking a toll on me, honestly, mentally and stuff. So I really dug deep more into the Bible. I really clinged to God more during those times, even if it feels good, even if it feels bad. I started journaling just how my outings went, just to see if, when I had a bad outing, what was I thinking? When I had a good outing, what was I thinking? Just so I could repeat the good outings and be more consistent with my thought process when I was out there. But I ended up, I think it was like a week before I got to come home. I injured my arm, and it was on I pitched on a Friday. I did really well. I had the 2 or 3 days off, came in the game on Tuesday with bases loaded, got out of that jam. And then the next inning, I was pitching, and I kind of felt a little fatigued and everything. And I threw a fastball high, and I was like, man, that didn't feel good. And then ended up, I had to get TJ. So
So your moment was a little bit different than Keegan. He kept pitching, but you knew right then and there something had happened.
Yeah, yeah, something just felt different. A feeling that I've never felt before. Like most people, they feel a pop and everything, but I just kind of felt like my forearm tightened up, like Keegan was saying previously when he was talking about how his arm started hurting. But it was super tight. They had taken me out of the game. I told him to come out there. I was like, something felt funny in my elbow, my forearm tightened up on me. So they took me out of the game. They ran through some tests or whatever, and they're like, "We think you're fine." And I honestly thought I was fine too. I thought it was a flexor strain as well. But then they were like, let's get an MRI just to be safe because we're at the end of the season. We don't want you going home for the off season being hurt. And then when you start back throwing again, you have to come back here and then you're delayed in the recovery process and all that. But end up getting MRI, got the results, and it had the distal part of the ligament had exploded. I had bone chipped off in there. And then as he went into surgery and everything, he had found that like the proximal part of the ligament probably had been torn for about a year or two, which we don't know, but that was his guess on that. But then they did the internal brace just like they did with Keegan and the whole reconstruction of the ligament.
Yeah.
So you got both done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm gonna let Daniel talk to him about that here in a second. Because I know that the two of y'all's timeline is different and the surgeries were different. But backtracking a little bit, you said y'all played in the same division. And I saw the picture. How cool is that? Y'all being high school teammates, won a state championship together, and then there y'all are on the same field together. In minor league baseball. What did that feel like?
I mean, it's definitely different because we've always played with each other. So I would prefer we'd both be on the same teams, but it was pretty awesome because our dream as little kids were to be professional athletes, and we're living that out every summer, which is just so awesome to see all of our hard work that we put in actually come true. Keegan had a great year. I'm super proud of him. I mean, it's just awesome. It's just awesome to see.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy actually. And I love and when his wife came into town, man, we made it a thing. We go eat, we go hang out, we do everything too. So that was pretty neat. They had in Stockton, they had the bullpen. They backed up to each other, and they had a fence right down the middle. So it was our bullpen, their bullpen, but they had there was a gap in the wind wrap or whatever you call it, whatever that would block you from talking to the other team. Well, there was a big hole in it. And I'd go stand out there in the games that I wasn't starting and just talk. Me and Dallas talk back and forth, mess with each other, and my teammates got to meet him, do all that kind of stuff. So it was really fun. Like he said, it was neat. It's something you do dream about. Now the next thing is to both get healthy and do it at the big league level. That'd be a little cooler.
If the two of y'all make it up and then you add Austin in the mix and y'all are playing each other on the regular, that's something for y'all two. It's even better because you might be throwing against Austin, and that's just that's story.
He don't want the smoke.
He don't want it.
He don't want the smoke.
I don't know, man. Hey, he
don't want it.
All right. I need to see you pitch against little brother first.
There was a
little brother don't want the smoke either. What?
Oh, here we go. Hey, I haven't asked you about that. Dallas, I'm gonna let you break down that surgery in a second, but let's ask Keegan about. Man, I gotta ask you because on your episode, you were the best big brother ever, and that wasn't a front. I've heard nothing but the same from anybody and everybody, and so you got to watch little brother win a national championship. You were a start of that Omaha run, where y'all went 3 years in a row, and you got a taste of that, but you didn't get all the way there and get that ring. What was it like to see your little brother be able to accomplish that with that team?
Oh, it was the coolest thing in the world, dude. I'm pretty sure I called him crying. I mean, it's something. We keep saying it, but it is something you dream about. And just to be able to see him do it after I got so close to do it, man, it was just most mind-blowing thing ever. We had every game. I didn't miss a single inning of the College World Series. I had coaches in the dugouts in minor league ball out in California pulling the game up on their phone so I could watch it in between innings. And we'd go in the clubhouse and all my buddies be rallied around a TV watching and cheering for my brother and doing all that. So it was really neat. I'm happy for him. He's gonna always be able to hold that ring over my head too. He's already done it a little bit. So
he's already done
it was awesome.
the two rings on y'all with the whole 2015-19 debate. Now he's got that one too.
Yeah, he's starting to break away from us, So I don't even know if I could argue that he's the best anymore.
Hey, you know what? Dad said Sterling's the best athlete, so I'm gonna roll with what Papa James says. But
Sterling mean on the field, man. You didn't want to mess with her. She was pitching.
But I was there for the whole thing, and here's the thing, man. I left and was only just gonna do the opening weekend, and I had talked to Billingsley, I had talked to Greg James, I talked to numerous people. Like, you got to come back. And so I got the work I needed to do. I only missed the one game, and then I came back and watched the whole thing. And then your dad, I've said it on this podcast before, he rewarded us. My son is your brother's biggest fan in the world. Like, I mean, he got him back playing baseball again. I'm thankful forever.
That's cool.
For that. Like, I mean, he had quit, taking a year off, and then ironically he ended up playing third base first game. And so that whole scenario, but he put us right behind home plate, which just shows the character. Your family's just stellar, and we got to be there for that. And then, the start of that College World Series, even though game one went very south, for your brother to hit the home run in the first inning like that, I was like, oh my God, dude, Cam just yard. And I thought y'all were going to roll away with that game. Even Logan Tanner came on here during his episode, and he's like, after Cam hit that, he's like, man, we're fixing to take this thing. And then that game just went completely the opposite direction.
Yep.
But no, man, you still were a part of that process, even though you didn't. I mean, because when you look at what Mississippi State's doing as a program, your team was a part of what started that. And I mean, they're poised to do it again. And so, like, still shout out to you and all your teammates and Mississippi State for just building something.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I mean, it's definitely a winning culture. It didn't start with just my class. The 2013 team was nuts. They had Renfro, Ross Mitchell, Wes Ray, all those boys, Adam Frazier. And it goes back further than that.
Adam Frazier, never heard of him.
Dude. Yeah, never. But no, it's just a winning culture, man. That's when you get over there, that's pounded into your head. Like, hey, if you don't want to be here to win, get out. And I think that's what it needs to be. We had some rough, rocky times while we were over there with, the coaching changes and turnover and all that. But to be able to still make it as far as we did, I think showed a lot of people that, hey, like Mississippi State, like we want to be on the map all the time. And for my brother and them to go and clinch it like they did, it was the coolest moment of my life by far.
Yeah, as fans, just watching it, just transpire, and even how, like, when conference season started, it was the talk, what if this happened? What if this happened? And each week we would have more in-depth conversations on what if this happened. And then eventually you're done with conference play, and then we were like, well, hell, this could happen. And then, they get to Omaha, and like it was a reality that, a dream for them that really, was solidified with just playing really well and just being the best team in the country basically the entire year. So once again, kudos to them. But I want to go back to the surgeries, this rehab, the injuries themselves, and kind of get an idea and give the listeners an idea of what all goes into the minute you get hurt, you realize you're hurt, you realize the significance, and then kind of like what the next steps are moving forward. So Dallas, Keegan mentioned kind of the timeline for him, 6 to 8 months. It wasn't maybe as bad as it could have been. He's going to be picking up a ball, the week after Christmas. So what about you? What's the timeline? When did you have the surgery?
I had surgery September 22nd, so I'm about 8 weeks in, but it's a 12 to 14th month recovery. The A's are going to take it a little slower than most people, just to make sure that everything goes right, there's no setbacks, and I'm ready to roll once I'm able to start competing in games again.
So when you took the pictures and you thought, well, it didn't feel that bad, like, were you optimistic, or were you leaning more towards the other way, just preparing yourself for the worst?
Well, when I got hurt, I didn't think anything of it, honestly. I honestly thought it was just a flexor strain. And then I texted my wife that night. I was like, hey, I had to come out of the game. She was already asleep because of the time difference and whatever. I was like, but it's nothing to really worry about. So I was like, they're going to get an MRI just to be safe since it's the end of the season. So I go into the MRI. I'm thinking, surely it's not torn. Surely it's not, because I want to go home to the off season. I want to spend time with my wife. I want to spend time with my family. I I want to do my lessons that I give. I want to coach the kids and everything. Got the MRI done. I got hurt that Tuesday. I think I got it that Thursday. And then I met with the doctor on Friday. I go in, I'm sitting in the room for about an hour, it seemed like, just waiting for him to come in to tell me the results. And I'm like, surely when he comes in, he's going to tell me good news. He comes in and he's just like in a good mood or whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, this is going to be good news. And then he started doing more tests on me, like going through like range of motions and everything. He's like, so you don't hurt? I'm like, no, I don't feel any pain. It's just like tight, kind of like tight and sore. And then he sat down. He was like, well, I got bad news. He was like, your ligament is completely torn. And I was just in complete shock, honestly. I was really wanting just to go home, but that delayed that process. But I was like, is there anything else that we can do? He was like, the only thing we can do is have surgery if you want to continue playing baseball. And well, I kind of got a little emotional after that, because usually as human beings, we want things to go our way. We always have a plan, but God has different plans, and that's always a better plan for us. So that's what I've been clinging on to, is this is all part of God's plan, and I'm moving right along like I'm supposed to.
So what's the rehab? What's the day-to-day rehab look like for you right now? And when can you start picking up a baseball again?
So right now I'm going to rehab Monday through Friday. It's mostly getting the range of motion back, which has come back very quickly for, I think, Keegan and I as well. Strengthening your shoulders, your scap, your forearm, your bicep, the entire arm. You're regaining the strength back, trying to build it back up. And then I think around January or February, I start getting into like plyo balls, but not like weighted balls that you throw, just kind of like getting the motion back and everything with the weighted ball. And then I get in like sock throws and stuff. But I don't think it's until March that I actually make my first throw.
But your hope is this time next year you're at 100%, if not pretty close.
Yes, that's correct. So 12 to 14 months. I had surgery September 22nd. So a year from then, and I should be fully cleared.
But Daniel, I sent you that picture. My boy's up in the DeSoto Athletic Club, still working out with that brace on. He ain't scared.
Well, I'm sure that the doctors probably said, "Hey, man, do whatever you used to do unless it hurts. If it hurts, stop doing it."
Yeah, basically,
And
he said continue doing legs and core and all that, and obviously I continue to do that, trying to be the best that I can when I come back. But he also took the ligament out of my forearm to put into my elbow, and he did say that was probably one of the biggest and strongest ligaments he's taken out of a pitcher. So that's good news.
You're lucky too, man. They took my first one out of my hamstring, and that was more painful than the arm.
Oh wow,
miserable.
So, Keegan, you got a timeline for Dallas, so like it's a 12 to 14 month rehab for him. He's going Monday through Friday. Obviously you're getting to pick up a baseball, before the end of the year. What is the difference between what he had and what your surgery and what happened with you?
So what he had was what I had my first time, and it's a full reconstruction. So the ligament is unusable, right? So you have to take it out of, what do they call it, Dallas? Your palmaris, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Palmaris something, but it's like up in here. Some people have it, some don't, or they take part of your hamstring. In my case, these weren't strong enough. They took it out of my hamstring. So they go in and they have to figure it however they do it, wait for that tendon to, it's called ligamentization. So it has to ligamentize, and that's what takes so long in the first surgery. So I didn't have to do that this time. My ligament was fine. It had just become detached at wherever they drilled in the holes the first surgery. So they go in, they take some type of collagen wrap it back to the bone, kind of like an anchor. And it's supposed to, knock on wood, never happen again. It's supposed to be the strongest it's ever been. So that's the only difference with mine. And if I would have had to go in and have another full recon, they said it was probably a 30% success rate and 15 to 18-month rehab. And then, and I didn't know that. I didn't know which surgery I was going to have until I woke up from the surgery. The doctor said, we think it's going to be this primary surgery that's 6 to 8. We can't guarantee you anything because once we get in there, things could be different than what the picture shows. So obviously you got a lot of thoughts going through your head, but I was sitting there the whole time. Like I have to wake up with the 6 to 8 month recovery, or baseball's over. Thankfully that happened through a lot of prayer and, people on my side and just luck. And I woke up and that was what I had. It's different. It's a different mentality though, when I got told this time rather than the first time, because this time was more just frustration rather than, I wasn't as upset as I was in the first one. It didn't hit me as hard. It was more just kind of an annoying, nagging type, like, why again? Like, I know what I have to do. I've been through it before. So that part's not, that part's not the hard part for me. It's just the constant every day, the monotony of going and doing the rehab and knowing what I have to do from the previous one. That was the only part that really got to me. But like right now I'm 4 weeks in tomorrow, or 4 weeks post-op, and I'm already getting to do a lot of stability stuff. They've already let me start doing lower body and core. Obviously not under a squat rack, but I'm doing a lot of machine type lifts and all that. So mentally I'm good. I'm ready to rock and roll now. I'm just waiting for January so I can pick up a ball.
Was part of the frustration, we talk about hearing stories and talking to people. I heard that you had a session in front of the big dogs in the organization, and I heard you were absolutely lights out. So you knew you have what it takes to go to the next level, undoubtedly, and then you have this setback. Is that part of where that major frustration comes from?
Yeah, definitely. I always tell people COVID was the best thing that ever happened to me, the COVID year, because I don't think I'm at where I am if I don't get that year off to kind of refine the way I did things in the weight room and on the mound. And so to be able to get back and throw and do that in front of those guys and show that, I belonged, it was a good confidence booster for me as well, for, the coaching staff. And so, yeah, there was a lot of frustration from that, just because I knew what the potential was. And then the possibility of maybe not being able to pitch again, that part really, that hits you a little bit, but we're good now and had the surgery we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Dallas, talking about your frustration, you were talking about journaling, and man, we got a lot of young cats that listen to this show, man. Elaborate on that just a little bit more. I mean, like, how you're handling the process, and you said you've been reading more. Obviously I'm friends with you on social media, so I see what you do, but for those who aren't, what you've been doing to keep yourself positive through the whole thing.
Yeah. So usually when I wake up, I get up, make my bed, whatever, go downstairs, get some coffee, and then I'll go sit outside, and then I'll read my Bible. And then there's like, on the Bible app, you can do like a devotional and everything. So I usually pick out key points to that devotional that I think that will benefit me. And then I write my thoughts and goals down for the day. So if I can accomplish one of them, that's great. If I can accomplish all of them, that's even better. But just mainly setting goals for myself for that day, not worrying about what happened yesterday, not worrying about what's going to happen in the future. Just attacking the day, trying to win the day at whatever I do. But that's been a big part of it, because obviously it's not something that Keegan and I wanted. So a lot of people have like almost like a negative mindset when it first happens, like I did. I was like, man, this sucks. Like Keegan was frustrated. It's all negative, but you got to figure out how to flip the script, turn the knob over, and change it into something positive. And I think journaling and reading and all of that has really helped me with the mindset that it's going to be okay. It's all part of the plan. So
yeah, no doubt.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. That comes with maturity and and that's what it shows with you. I mean, I've had the same thing. I remember when things would be bad when I was younger. The world ended. I hated people. I was mad. And, and then as I got older, I learned that's part of it. And then, as you said, turning to God, and man, not even just reading the Bible. I've been reading some other books that just to encourage, and it's amazing. I've always hated reading, but when you read things and when you write things and you kind of clear your head, it's amazing what that does. Then obviously we know what the gym does for both of us. That'll really clear your head. But obviously you're in Memphis, Mississippi now. And by the way, don't ever honk at me like that again, or we're gonna be. You know what I'm
Actually,
talking
I'm in
about.
We're gonna be
Arizona
digging
right
your
now.
grave, Dallas. We're gonna be digging your
This
grave.
this man laid into the horn at me, and I wasn't looking, and scared the living mess out of me.
He gave me
Anyway,
like he was gonna dig me a grave look.
I did, because I was like, because it's one of those times where you didn't do anything wrong, so it's not like I was doing something wrong in traffic. So who's honking at me like that? And then I seen that weak car, and I knew that was you. So
we can line them up.
we line them up whenever you're ready. We'll go live for the podcast for that one. We'll let Daniel host that. But
right.
I want to ask you about something. I just went to all the Ole Miss fall games. I had the luxury of seeing it, and being that you're a pitcher, they lost Nikhazy, they lost Gunnar, they lost Taylor, but man, they have a lot of young arms, a lot of young, talented arms. We know what their lineup is, top to bottom. They all came back. They got.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if Keegan disputes it as a Mississippi State guy. They have the best lineup, top to bottom, but it's all going to come down to pitching. Do you think, I don't know what you've heard, what you've seen. Do you think a core of young guys that are really talented like that can get it together enough to get this, along with that batting lineup, finally get over that hump they've been on, trying to get over for the last few years and get to Omaha?
Yeah, I think any team actually, if they come together and have a good team chemistry, can work together. Can pitching staff keep us in the game? Can the hitters score some runs? Can they put up big numbers for us? I think Ole Miss has a really good offense. I think top to bottom, like you said, they're going to be very dangerous. And with the new pitching staff, we're not new, but the younger guys, I think if they believe in themselves, if they go out there and have confidence that they can get the job done, and don't let the big stage of, though this is the SEC, scare them, then yeah, they can definitely take it all the way to Omaha and win the thing. But it's as being a young cat on campus, it's sometimes difficult to live up to the hype and everything, but you got to block all that out and be who you are, be the pitcher that you're supposed to be. And if you do your job and the next guy does his job, then everything is going to work out right.
Yeah, absolutely. And based upon what I saw in the fall down in Starkville and what I saw in Oxford, and it's not being biased because you guys know I'm an LSU fan. I've been a Mississippi State fan as long as Cameron's there, and especially my son. My son is now so conflicted. He thinks he's a Mississippi State football fan. I'm having a lot of trouble around here.
I love it.
He's so confused because he spent 11 days in Omaha rooting for Mississippi State. He got brainwashed hard. So, but no, like I think both those teams are going to both be there, and that's a scenario for me because Daniel's going to join me in Omaha this time, and I would really love for both those teams to be there, and especially representing the state and both y'all schools and everything. So that's hopefully a scenario. And then I have one more thing because and both y'all can speak on this. We originally had y'all scheduled to come on right before the World Series. Obviously, Keegan messed things up by getting hurt. It's his fault. He had to have surgery, And so we were gonna get some World Series predictions, what y'all thought about Austin. But now we know what happened. We know that Austin is a world champion. And so I'll start with you, Keegan, man. What is it? I asked you about your brother, but this is a guy who is your brother basically as well. Born 18 hours apart. Y'all were raised together. You played high school, or you played all the way up together. Won a high school state championship together. What was it like to watch him on that stage and be able to win the ultimate crown?
It was crazy. I got to go to Game 4 on a Saturday in Atlanta and sit with the family and watch them win that game. They had 2 back-to-back home runs. I think it was who hit it, Dansby and Soler, maybe back-to-back, and they ended up blowing them out of the water. And just that atmosphere I'd never been a part of was crazy. But yeah, no, seeing him win that thing and being able to talk to him after every game and, all that stuff and FaceTime and just see what it was like to put myself in his shoes and, see how everything is at that level, man, it was it was crazy. Second coolest thing behind my brother winning the College World Series. So,
But you know what was not the coolest thing? I read an article, and I don't know if you saw it. And if you did, man, you need to hit up the writer because it wasn't cool, man. It said it was a fun fact. Did you know thing for uh, I forgot what Forgive me now for forgetting, but it said, did you know the national champion third baseman Cameron James is the first cousin of Austin Riley, who was the national champion third baseman, world champion of the Atlanta Braves, who also had a younger sister, Sterling James, who pitched in the junior college national championship. I'm like, where's Keegan? The disrespect, bro.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
It's all right. They
It
left
is what
Greg
it
out, and
is.
Greg claims to be the man of the band. He said he was the best. He was the best punter that ever lived.
I guess so. But I do have a fun fact though. My manager in Low A this year out in Fresno, Robinson Cancel, was actually Austin's first professional manager in the GCL league. So the whole time we were playing and watching them, throughout our season in the clubhouse, he'd come over, he'd come talk to me. How's Austin doing? How I've coached him, blah, blah, blah. How's his wife doing? All that. So that was pretty neat to be able to watch him, watch Austin on television. He said he got to coach him.
That's
so
crazy.
He was there when Austin went 0
world,
for 25. Right? Yeah, Austin went 0 for 25 or 26 with like a stupid number of Ks in his first 25 at bats in pro ball.
He came on before this season. His episode was before this season, and he said he's a slow starter every year, and he did it again this year. Like, it's crazy. He'll tell you straight up, just give me time, and I'll get it figured out. But for you, Dallas, man, what was it like?
Dude, I am just so unbelievably happy for the man. He's like I said before at the beginning of the podcast, he's a great person, great human being. He's a hard worker, and just to see him work throughout all these years, you knew that he was going to be at the top stage one day, and he did it at the best level that you could do it, winning a World Series, and it's just so incredibly just awesome. He's a great person, and to see him win it all, like Keegan was saying, it's unbelievable.
He almost got him an MVP too, man. He was close.
I know,
close.
Yeah, but like Soler doing what he did, he made it hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely, very deserving.
But Keegan and I played with him since he was a little bitty, and we all knew that he was going to be some great star one day. But we didn't know he was going to win a World Series at 24 years old, which is it's crazy.
We're sitting in Low A, recovering from Tommy John.
hey, since he chose friends over money, when he gets that money, I hope he takes y'all to some nice destinations.
No, it's
He's good, man.
No, he said y'all like to sit around the fire anyway, so I'm sure that's where y'all still be.
I mean, he probably wouldn't be where he's at without you guys, setting the bar along the way. I mean, I'm sure you guys.
Man, I could honestly almost flip that and say that he set the bar for us all the way through.
He said if y'all were to go against the 2019 team, because his episode was after y'all's, he said he would, regardless of what anybody says about his pitching, it would be one of you two guys. So he, y'all go both ways about this. Y'all say him, he says y'all.
Well, he from when he was little, man, everybody knew he has a special gift. So I don't think I'd be wrong. I think Dallas would probably agree that it was definitely the other way around, where everybody kind of looked up and tried to want to play baseball, kind of like Austin did, because you knew he had something special.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So guys, we're almost at the end, and I want to play a quick game, and it's a game that both of you have played before, this or that. But we've revamped it. This is 2.0 edition, so we want to get your takes on a few new questions. So obviously, we'll start with each question I give you. You just pick one option or the other. Can't say both. Can't say neither. And I'll get Dallas. I'll get your take first on every question, followed by Keegan. So
don't copy me, Keegan.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the one that chose money over friends.
No. I just had to think about it a little bit. I'm just kidding.
All right, first question. Dallas, would you rather, trying to figure out how to word this because this is tricky. All right. Would you rather dig a grave for Austin again or walk the trash to the street at night with Keegan?
Walk the trash with Keegan.
I gotta throw my
Absolutely.
I gotta throw my jabs in there anywhere I can.
You
All
ain't
right.
walking, you running, man. Come on.
So Keegan,
We're sprinting 40-yard dash.
would you rather walk the trash to the street by yourself, or would you rather watch Dallas dig your grave?
I think I could walk. I can walk the trash to the road now all by myself. I can hold my own.
You'd be the fastest trash to the street ever.
I swear, it's got to be a Guinness World Record for it.
All right. Dallas, would you rather never wait in line again or never come across a red light?
Never come across a red light.
Because he's got a fast car.
Keegan,
Like I said, we'll line them up.
Keegan, never wait in line or no red lights?
No red lights. I got places to be even when I don't have places to be.
Most of the people who answer this question with no red lights are people that are notoriously late for things.
No, I'm not late for anything. I don't like slow drivers and I don't like being stopped when I don't have to be.
Man,
No, imagine traveling somewhere far and you don't have to stop at a red light. You just keep on going. It's like a whole interstate.
Welcome to my life, man. If I could just not have traffic, just in one of my commutes, either morning or afternoon, like I'll take one or the other. All right. Dallas, would you rather never have your cell phone again or never have a toilet again? So no cell phone or no toilet.
Never have a cell phone again.
Yeah, what?
I don't know, man.
You'd be amazed how many people take the cell phone over the toilet.
Well, part of it is I think cell phone usage has become synonymous with being on the toilet.
Dude, TikTok, man, Instagram, just.
But think how much more productive our days would be without a cell phone. We wouldn't have to worry about anything.
But that's coming from the guy who's been reading. See, not everybody's been reading like you. Everybody else is glued to their phone.
Dallas, I get to page 5 or 6 and I start to doze off, man. I've tried.
Read when you first get up in the morning.
You know what, Dallas? That's the energy I need. You're right. You're right.
All right, Keegan, what do you got? No cell phone or no toilet?
Dude, no cell phone.
No
cell phone.
You're not digging a hole. You're not. Oh,
I live with too many roommates in minor league ball, man. I can't just be going wherever I need to go.
No, the reality is he doesn't want to walk outside at night to go to the outhouse.
Oh,
you're not wrong.
Exactly.
You're not wrong.
To the hole.
You're not wrong.
All right, Dallas, would you rather have the painful truth or a comforting lie?
Painful truth.
Keegan, painful truth.
Painful truth, absolutely. Painful truth.
Yeah,
tell me straight up.
Yeah, given the situation you guys are in with being minor league players, I think it might hurt, but you're going to get a lot further in your development if you know the truth, as opposed to somebody just kind of massaging it in for you and making it seem better than it really is.
Definitely 100%. On the
100%.
coaching aspect too. I don't want to coach to cookie cut nothing or try to make me feel good. I want them to tell me straight up. That's the only way you can get better.
Dallas, would you rather owe money or owe a favor?
Owe a favor?
Keegan, owe money or owe a favor?
That's a difficult one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas. I'm easy,
still going to go
favor
with,
could be anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think I'm going to go with owe a favor because, like you said,
but how much money?
Literally be anything. I mean, money could be anything also, but
yeah,
a favor means someone did something nice for me to help me out, so I can reciprocate that. The money part is me probably doing something stupid, or I'm down on my luck and I need some money, or I got into some gambling problems, or somebody did something. So it's kind of, I'm thinking in that direction. So yeah, owe somebody a favor.
All right, guys. Last question, and this is becoming one of the fan favorites right here. Would you rather spend 10 years in a coma or 5 years in jail? 10 years in a coma
Ooh.
or 5 years in jail? Dallas, what do you
Mm,
got?
that's difficult.
No,
10
it's
years
not.
is a lot.
This is the easiest question I asked. Everybody makes it more difficult than it is because they try to
No, no,
lie.
no.
They
No,
lie
no,
to
no.
themselves.
I
10
can't
years is a
say it
long
yet,
time.
but there's been some perspective that has been brought in by some other guests that I will after y'all answer that has made me change my mind. Daniel thinks it's easy. It's not. Wait, just wait.
Zero,
I think it-
zero perspective from anybody has changed my mind about this question.
Even
I think-
Quintavious Burdett from Ole Miss.
Even Quintavious. Q, I love him, but my answer is always going to be my answer.
All right,
Talking
let's see
jail
what
or
they say.
prison?
Yep. 10 years in a coma or 5 years in jail.
Jail or
I think
prison? So not prison. Like we're talking like the county jail.
No, we're
Or
talking
we
about
talk-
5
we're talking about
years.
the slammer.
Hard time.
The
Like
slammer. Oh my
bad-
goodness.
bad dudes, bad mother truckers.
Man,
I think I would. I mean, 10 years. That's a wild.
that's what I'm saying. I don't want to
and
miss
suffer.
10 years of my life.
I think I'd do 5 years just to get in, get out. Because 10 years, you're putting a lot of suffer on other people. They're all
Damn.
they're all wondering when is he going to wake up, when he's going to do that. But I
They
think I'd
keep-
do the 5 years in prison.
They teach the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing at Ole Miss because that's what Q said. Ole Miss grad also said the exact same thing. He said he would not want to put that burden on his family to sit there and wait for him for 10 years.
Yeah, because then what if they pull the plug?
Yeah.
It's been 10 years.
I'm in the same boat. I think I'm gonna choose prison. Like people can visit you at prison, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all
Daniel
are,
says-
but like also,
y'all are forgetting.
ain't no
the
way we
whole-
hard enough to be in prison. Like I'm not hard enough to be in prison.
What if the two of y'all can go together and be cellmates so y'all can at least have each other's back?
Oh, that'd be
man.
easy.
That's
We could
easy.
do that.
That's minor league baseball.
Hey,
Yes, that is minor league.
it's easy until lights out, fellas. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Hey.
Look, this
Just don't drop the soap.
yeah, this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. And my answer has never changed. This dude right here in this little square that y'all see,
Mhm.
he ain't going to prison.
Uh,
That ain't for me. You better give me the 10 years of that nice little nap, and people can figure it out along the way. And I'll wake up, I'll be refreshed, relaxed. And I'll
Man,
just,
are we talking like if it happened like right now though? Like I had to choose like an answer for tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
like right
5
now,
years.
after this
Give
I'd
me the
wake
5
up
podcast.
and
years.
I'd wake up and I'm 34. Like you got, I mean, that's so much of
Oh,
my
that's
life.
easy. What are you talking
Easy.
about?
Nah. That's like I
I'm
don't
30.
know.
I'm
Like,
37, and I would take 10 years.
And see, hey, and here's the thing. Another guest dropped knowledge on Daniel. You know, he says 10 years, but talked about, you know, because he's got a 3-year-old daughter. When you wake up, she'd be 13. You're missing 10 years of her life.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you can't do that.
You're missing 10 years of a lot of people.
Good, because you know what? I'm sleeping, which is something I ain't doing right now.
You're
With
right.
the-
Sleep
with the
is good
3
for you. You need sleep. That's right.
But the world has changed for those 10 years.
That's all right, and it's probably not for the better. If you, so, I mean, that's me. Prison ain't for me. And
Jim, what are you doing?
I'm taking prison, bro. Let's go. And hey, and
Hey, he's big though. He's big.
look, it also like
he
somebody
ain't big
said-
enough.
Look,
He ain't
as
big enough
somebody
for
said,
prison.
as somebody said, man, do good behavior, you get out in 3. Let's go.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah, man.
Not
Put me
in
on the
this,
Find a
chain
new-
gang outside picking up some trash.
not
find
in
a new
this
skill in
hypothetical
jail.
scenario. Nobody's getting out on good behavior. It's 5 years.
Hey,
straight up.
my
5
first
years
hey
straight.
Daniel, something they don't know. You know, my first tattoo was done when we were 14 in Nutbush. I got a jailhouse tat to start my life off, so I'm ready for
Oh,
this.
man. He's ready. Put him in.
and he thinks that's something to brag about.
Yeah, that Joker was crooked, guys. I ain't gonna lie. I had to do 2 more sessions over the top of it to get it fixed. It's cost me about $1,000.
Love it.
Man. All right,
Love it.
guys.
Reckless.
Dallas, I'll start with you, man. Anything you want to plug or promote before you get out of here?
No.
Keegan, anything?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for y'all having me on. And obviously, Base Sports Performance with Jacob Billingsley. That's my boy. They're doing a lot of big things over there. Got a lot of professional athletes running through there, college athletes, high school guys, all the way down. You know, and Stud Muffins. That's my boy Trey Jolly and his wife. They're doing a meal prep service based out of Base Sports Performance. So if you need anything to get right, get the body right, get with them. So that's all I got.
Yeah, and thank you. I didn't mean like nothing is all, but thank y'all for thank y'all for having Keegan and I. It was awesome to catch back up and get to talk. Thank y'all.
Absolutely, guys. We want to give you a chance to hit the rehab and get get yourself back into playing shape, and probably have you guys back on. Maybe once you're back up and running, or prior to you guys get up and running, because we want to stay in touch. We want to stay up to date with what you guys got going on. So if there's anything we can do, man, just reach out. We'd be more than happy to help plug or promote anything you guys got going on, or just get the word out there for you.
Good deal. Thank y'all. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Absolutely, guys. Y'all keep climbing the mountain. I know you guys are coming from different sides, but you're basically climbing that same mountain. So keep digging, keep grinding. If you want to follow Keegan on Instagram, it's at KeeganJames18 or at Rockies. If you want to follow Dallas on Instagram, it's at Dallas24 or at Athletics. We're going to take a break. We're going to plug the sponsors. When we come back, we got some headlines for you.